Hi there, this is Datila, and welcome to the Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023, which means tonight I will be talking about AEW Dynamite. Alright, so it is official. We are getting a 4 Pillars Fatal 4-Way match at Double or Nothing for the AEW World Championship. So how did this come to be? Let's talk about that. So the main event was a 4 Pillars tag team match. It was Jungle Boy and Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara and MJF. If Jungle Boy and Darby Allin won, they would be added to the match at Double or Nothing. So one thing that I thought was so hilarious was that MJF and Sammy Guevara, they were playing rock, paper, scissors to see who would go out first. And I'm not sure if anybody noticed, but you know how Sammy Guevara has that Dragon Ball Z inspired Titantron? It was him and MJF, and it looked like they were fighting Darby Allin and Jungle Boy in that Titantron in Dragon Ball Z style. And I really like the fact that MJF and Sammy Guevara came out with the matching vest that Sammy gave MJF, and they came out wearing the scarf, which I thought was so hilarious. All right, so Sammy Guevara won rock, paper, scissors, so he starts the match off against Jungle Boy. He hits him with the shoulder tackle. Jungle Boy hits him with a drop kick. MJF gets tagged in, and he does the headlock takedowns to Darby Allin. So MJF starts complaining to the referee about Jungle Boy allegedly pulling his hair. There's a double team on MJF by Jungle Boy and Darby Allin. And so while the referee is distracted, Sammy Guevara was choking Darby Allin with that scarf. He did this twice while the ref was distracted. So on the outside, you have MJF flipping off Jungle Boy behind the ref's back. Once again, when the ref is distracted, Sammy Guevara chokes Darby Allin with the scarf, but then Darby Allin turns the tables and he chokes Sammy Guevara with the scarf. MJF then enters the ring to try and save Sammy Guevara, but he too gets choked by the scarf. I really like that double diving cross body that Jungle Boy did to both MJF and Sammy Guevara. So, Trouble in Paradise starts to assume when MJF and Sammy Guevara, they look like they're both going to dive out to the outside to take out Jungle Boy and Darby Allin, but only Sammy Guevara makes the dive. MJF doesn't. So, meanwhile, while Sammy is in the ring, MJF blind tags himself in after Sammy Guevara does the senton to Jungle Boy. And so this doesn't sit well with Sammy because you can kind of hear Sammy tell MJF, I'm trying to win, dude. So Sammy Guevara is not happy with the fact that MJF blind tagged himself in and attempted to get the pin. MJF hits a powerbomb on the knee, and then Sammy also blind tags himself in to get the cover. MJF is not happy that Sammy Guevara did that, so he slaps Sammy in the face, and then Sammy super kicks MJF. Jungle Boy attempts to make the pin, but that isn't enough. Jungle Boy hits MJF with the super kick in the northern lariat. Then Darby also makes a blind tag, and he comes off the top rope with a coffin drop. Now, I thought he was going to hit Jungle Boy. I really thought. I was like, oh my God, he's going to hit Jungle Boy. But Jungle Boy moved out of the way before Darby Allin could hit him. And they got the victory. So it's going to be a Pillars 4-way match at Double or Nothing, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I honestly wish I could be there live for that, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to. Overall, I thought it was a great main event and was a great way to end AEW Dynamite. But with that being said, let's start this review from the beginning. So we get an 8-man tag match. It is Bandido, the AEW International Champion, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and Adam Cole, baby, versus the Jericho Appreciation Society in the form of Jake Hager, Daniel Garcia, Angelo Parker, and Matt Menard. Chris Jericho comes out wearing Britt Baker's newest shirt, the one with the hazard face and has a black eye. And he joins commentary. And so Roderick Strong and Daniel Garcia start this match. Roderick Strong hits Daniel Garcia with the chest chop. Then Adam Cole and Angelo Parker attack in. And Adam Cole hits Angelo Parker with a pump kick. Then we get Bandido doing a fall-away slam to Angelo Parker. All 8 men enter the ring and a brawl breaks out. You have Orange Cassidy doing a DDT to Jake Hager. Jake Hager sending Orange Cassidy's spine first into the ring apron. Adam Cole is starting to walk towards commentary, but different members of the Jericho Appreciation Society stop him. And then Bandido attempts a delayed vertical suplex to Angelo Parker, but Menard stops him. Bandido takes out both Angelo Parker and Matt Menard. Then at some point, the Jericho Appreciation Society isolate Orange Cassidy. Daniel Garcia starts dancing in the ring, which I thought was so hilarious. He's got some good dance moves. You got Jake Hager doing the shoulder tackle to Orange Cassidy. You got Orange Cassidy doing the Slumdog Millionaire to Matt Menard. Backbreaker to Daniel Garcia by Roderick Strong. A chest chop to Jake Hager by Roderick Strong. You got Daniel Garcia doing a single leg Boston Crab to Orange Cassidy. You got Roderick Strong doing a jumping knee to Matt Menard. Orange Cassidy hits Jake Hager with the orange punch, and he follows this up with the breach break, but that's still not enough to win the match. You have Orange Cassidy being Orange Cassidy to Daniel Garcia. You have Adam Cole Baby doing a jumping knee strike to Angelo Parker, and that wins them the match. So Orange Cassidy, Adam Cole Baby, Roderick Strong, and Bandido all win this match. After the match, you have Adam Cole, who directed his attention to Chris Jericho, who was on commentary. He attacked Chris Jericho, and security is just trying to separate them. After they get back from commercial break, Britt Baker slaps Chris Jericho as they're taking away Adam Cole, and she calls him Bitch Jericho. So honestly, I really like the feud between Jericho and Adam Cole. Adding Britt Baker was actually a pretty good idea because now it's personal, which makes it a little different than Chris Jericho's other feuds. So I'm digging it. So you get Jungle Boy and Darby Allin backstage interview, and they're basically saying, well, Jungle Boy starts off by saying that he and Darby Allin may not like each other, but they have a lot of men, and that's that. They've been there since day one. They both busted their ass to get to this moment, and they both never made it to the pay-per-view, but tonight that will change as they're going to go main event Double or Nothing for the AEW World Championship. And Darby Allin says he doesn't care how they get there, but this is it, that they will both walk into Double or Nothing as number one contenders, and one of them will walk out with the gold, and tonight is showtime. Then we get a BCC Backstage Promo, and Brian's talking about how egotistical it was of Bret Hart to call himself the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And he says that he's the best wrestler in the world today, and if he's not, it's one of the BCC members. He goes on to say that there will be a lot of wrestlers better than him because of their influence. They want to push people. They want people to be better than them. They want AEW to be the best. And then Moxley takes over, and he says that they aren't blades looking for pieces of iron sharpening each other. And he says the elite should be thanking them. He talks about how next week in a steel cage, it's going to hit differently. Every day they get more dangerous. And it's got a whole new version of John Moxley, and he can't wait to show Omega. And he says that he will leave one hell of a mark. So Moxley saying that this is a different Moxley from the last time he faced Omega. Honestly, I cannot wait for that steel cage match. It's going to be epic. We get Saraya versus Willow Nightingale. This match was okay. Of course, typical Outcast fashion. They're at ringside. They get involved in this match, and Saraya is victorious because of that. Now, at the end of the match, we get a post-match assault on Willow. And guess who's back? Hikaru Shida is back. She brings out her signature candlestick, and this is the part that had me tripping. So Shida comes out, and she's in the ring, and she looks like she's aligning herself with the Outcast. She grabs the spray paint, and she's about to spray paint Willow Nightingale's face. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter come out, and it's all rouge, and she ends up spray painting Saraya's face. And so it looks like Hikaru Shida has officially joined Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. Now, that's 4. So now the Outcast need one more person, and it'll be 4. I'm assuming this is still leading to Blood and Guts. It has to be, right? If not, what's the whole point of this feud? Please tell me we're not going to get a random 8-woman tag match of this. Because I want Blood and Guts. This has to lead to that, right? Right? Hopefully it does. We get a House of Black promo, and they're basically talking about how they're not going to show no mercy, no shortcuts, and they're doing an open house rules, open challenge, which basically is that any 3 wrestlers can form a trio and challenge them. There's 20 count on the floor, no rope breaks, and optional DQs. So it seems like for the time being, House of Black is going to have a bunch of open challenges. So we'll see what trio ends up facing the House of Black for those trios titles. We get a 3 de Mayo Trios Battle Royal. So Lucha Brothers and El Hijo del Banquino are the first team to enter. QT Marshall attacks Anthony Bowens as the Acclaim is making their way down to the ring. And here's what I thought was so hilarious. So you guys know Penta es cero miedo always does a cero miedo. So as he was doing the cero part, Anthony Bowen scissored Penta, which I thought was so hilarious. So there are a lot of stuff happening in this battle royal. I did my best to try to keep up with everything that was going on. So I did catch a few things. Tony Nese got eliminated. I didn't catch by who. El Hijo de Banquino eliminates Josh Woods. The Lucha Brothers eliminate QT and Solo. Then Powerhouse Hobbs eliminates El Hijo de Banquino. Powerhouse Hobbs drops J.A.S. Butcher and Blade scissor each other. You got John Silver doing a stalling vertical suplex to Blade. And in the end, it comes down to J.A.S. and Anthony Bowens against Kip Sabian, Butcher, and Blade. So they're outnumbered here, 3-2. Anthony Bowens then proceeds to eliminate Blade. Then the Butcher and Kip Sabian get eliminated by Anthony Bowens and J.A.S. and the Acclaimed and J.A.S. are victorious. I actually really liked the battle moment. That was a lot of fun. So since the Acclaim and J.A.S. won, whenever that means they're going to face the House of Black for those trios titles. Afterwards, we get a Sammy Guevara backstage interview, and MJF interrupts. Sammy Guevara confronts MJF about leaving without him. So if you guys remember last week, MJF did not allow Sammy Guevara to leave with him because he says his limo was full. But here, Sammy Guevara is telling him that he watched the show back and realized that the limo was empty. So MJF tells him that he has severe chronic back pain for carrying the company, which I thought was hilarious. So he has to lay down in the limo. And MJF says he's a horrible friend to Sammy and that Sammy deserves better, and they hug. So I thought that was a hilarious little backstage interview / segment with Sammy Guevara and MJF. We get a Kenny Omega promo, and he's talking about how iron sharpens iron. He talks about how when they meet in Detroit, everything will come to an end. That what Moxley did to him, the Bucks, Don Callis, and Konosuke Takeshita made it personal, and that it ends next week. And then Don Callis shows off his scar and tells Moxley it's a reminder of what Moxley did to him. We get Wardlow versus some jobber whose name I didn't catch. Pointless match. I'm not even going to talk about this match because you should know what happens if he's facing a jobber. So instead, I'm going to skip to the end where Wardlow cuts a promo and he's talking about that he isn't done yet. He can do this all day. He hasn't even broken a sweat. He says that he knows there's a guy in the back that wants to cut the line and doesn't have the balls to get in the ring. So he calls out Luchasaurus for an open challenge, but Christian Cage comes out and says the title shot doesn't belong to Luchasaurus, but it's for him. So I'm surprised that it's Christian Cage. I mean, he got buried alive by Jungle Boy, and I thought Wardlow's feud with Powerhouse Hobbs wasn't over. So seems like they don't know what to do with the TNT title. We get a hilarious segment with Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, Satan Singh. They all go to Sandy Fort Stella to visit Mark Briscoe on his farm, and it is the most hilarious thing ever. So Satan Singh is in overalls, and so is Sanjay Dunn. It was such the most funniest thing because they're all doing farm work, and then you got Papa Briscoe telling Mark to keep an eye on the idiots, and we find out that Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett are going to challenge FTR at Double or Nothing for those tag titles. So I thought it was a hilarious segment, but I was quite surprised with the fact that Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett are challenging FTR for the tag titles at Double or Nothing. Are we out of teams for FTR to face? I know the last time Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal challenged for those tag titles, it was against the Acclaimed, but I don't think they really need to be challenging for those tag titles again. But I thought the segment was hilarious. We get Ricky Starks versus Juice Robinson, which is actually a really great match. You have Ricky Starks sending Juice crashing into the barricade. You have Ricky Starks doing a back body drop to Juice on the outside. Then Ricky Starks goes crashing into the steel steps. Juice Robinson went into the ring post. You have Ricky Starks who climbed the steel steps, and then he dropped Juice Robinson onto the floor from the steel steps. Ricky Starks did a lariat and then a DDT to Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson did a cannonball in the corner to Ricky Starks. Then he did a Hurricanrana to Ricky Starks, which he followed up with the lariat. And Ricky Starks did a spear, which he followed up with the Rochambeau, and he is victorious. Very good match. And Jay White attacked Ricky Starks from behind, and Juice Robinson saved Jay White from Ricky Starks. So they make it a point to say that Shawn Spears wasn't there. If you guys remember on Rampage, we did have a tag match. It was Juice Robinson and Jay White versus Shawn Spears and Ricky Starks. It's a match that Juice Robinson and Jay White won. So I wouldn't be surprised just based on this feud clearly isn't over. So then afterwards we get a Jungle Boy backstage segment, and he and Darby Allin are in the locker room discussing their match. When Darby Allin leaves, MJF comes in and he locks himself in the room with Jungle Boy, and MJF says Jungle Boy can be twice the man Sammy is by betraying Darby Allin. And MJF says he loves Jungle Boy. He's like a brother, but he's not world champion material. And he's offering him a spot on the throne. Jungle Boy says he is looking for a spot on the throne, but without being a piece of trash. And then Darby Allin comes back. And then this leads into the main event match, which I already talked about at the beginning. So overall, I actually really liked tonight's Dynamite. I didn't really care for the Wardlow squash match. But aside from that, I thought it was a pretty good show. And I'm hoping we do get a Blood and Guts match between the Outcasts versus the AEW Originals. So with that being said, that concludes this review. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys Friday. I'll only be doing SmackDown because, once again, AEW Rampage is a special start time.